Well, James Hatch, you're going to Randwick for the Country Championship with a horse called Stoneyrise. It's only moments after the race, but is it starting to sink in a bit now, or is it all too surreal?
It's all too surreal, mate. Tomorrow, I'd say.
Yeah.
When I get home and have a look around and see a replay, it'll look good.
Let's go back to where you're from. Now, it says Burke in the race book, but you're not actually from Burke. You're further afield. You're back of Burke.
Back of Burke, mate. Yep, 200 k's northwest, right on the border.
Right on the border.
The border's my boundary.
Is there a name of the town, or is it a property?
Mate, there's a hunk of it just up the road, 40 k's.
Right.
And that's about it. The gate I go through is the Paragundi gate. That's the one on my place.
Right.
Yeah, it used to be an old post office, but she's deceased back sort of in the early 50s.
Right. And how big's your property?
Oh, mate, it's about 210 square miles.
And what do you do on the property?
Mate, we've got cattle, a few meat sheep, goats, and Stoneyrise.
And that keeps you busy. The horse is probably the easy part.
The horse, mate, yeah, he's number one now.
Now tell us, you paid a bit over $7,000 for this horse at a sale here in Dubbo.
That's right, the Peter Milling sale here in February. Yeah. They have that every year.
And what was it about this horse that took your eye?
Mate, I sort of looked at him and on paper, and I like the reserves for the country horses, and went and had a look at him. Bit on the small side, that's why now he's 5-year-old and only had 14 starts.
Right.
We just give him a little bit of time.
So how long have you been training for?
Probably 13 years.
Right.
I've got a licence, yeah.
And there wouldn't be many horses pass through your hands in that time? Have you got a number?
Probably 18 or 20.
Right.
Yeah.
And this bloke would be the best, wouldn't he?
Well, he is now. He's up there with he's 1-6, so my best other horse had 1-6.
And he's won 6, but he's won at places like Louth and Cobar and Canamble.
That's right. At Louth, it was a big win. He gave some pretty handy speed horses, 6 or 7 lengths at the 600 metre mark, come around them 10 wide and run them down.
And Louth is that famous, it's an iconic race meeting, is it? People go and camp there to watch the races. Surely you didn't think when you win a race at Louth that maybe the Country Championships could be a race I could set this horse for?
No, it wasn't even on the agenda then.
So when did it come into your focus?
Well, we went to Cobar picnics. I think it was the second time he'd only been over 1,200 metres. There was a horse in it that run a pretty handy race that year in the Country Qualifier at Wellington, and we beat him by 5 lengths. So I thought we better step up and see where our mark is.
Now let's put this win into perspective. First up, 133 days since its last start. No trial. You've probably trialled him around the paddock somewhere. Fit enough to run 1,400 metres, and that's no mean feat.
No, that's right. We went for a couple of gallops. First one was 800 metres, and then a month later we went back 2 weeks ago and put him over 1,200. It was a pretty handy gallop.
Now tell us about the trip down. It took you a little bit longer than normal, and you were even thinking of going home because he hadn't done well.
No, that's right. Yeah, got to Burke yesterday about 11 o'clock. Settled him in, but last night, never eat an oat. About a cup full of water.
You're thinking of going home?
This morning I was.
So what changed?
Well, we let him around for a while, give him a pick of grass and load him up at 8 o'clock.
He's used to that tough lifestyle and he come good.
Well, we put the feeder in the car and a handful of hay and he ate on the way down.
And what was he like when he got to the track?
No, good. Dropped his mate out the road a bit. Brought a companion with him and dropped him out the road a bit at the bloke's place.
Right. And you'll pick him up on the way home?
Pick him up on the way home. I think he's worth it.
So what's the trip home like now? How do you get home? Do you stop on the way or do you go straight through?
No, we'll break it up. Yeah, stop a night. We might even stop here tonight.
Why not? I think you're going to be pretty popular in Dubbo.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Have you ever been to Randwick?
Only as a spectator.
Was it a big day? Was it a big race day that you came down for?
Spent a bit of time down there in the early 80s on a place, worked for a bloke there in the stables, and went in there as a strapper a couple of times, but that's about it.
So was that at Randwick?
No, he was out at Warwick Farm.
Warwick Farm. Who was that?
Peter Roach.
Peter Roach. You worked as a stable hand there?
Done a bit of breaking in for Peter and done the stud season for him a couple of times there on his place he had leased there at stud.
You probably thought I'd love to train a winner somewhere around here.
Yeah, never even thought of it.
Training hadn't entered your mind then?
No, not at that time, no.
So how long have you lived out where you are now?
Yeah, no, all life.
All your life?
Yep.
You just came down to Sydney for that job?
Yep. Just a bit of a break.
Family up there?
Yeah, they started off there.
Yeah.
They passed on now. But yeah, they were the ones that set it up, yeah.
Do you realise how much publicity this horse is going to get heading to April 1? I mean, that we're still 6 weeks away. People are going to be ringing you. They're going to be hounding you for this story. The papers, the radio, the TV.
Yeah, no, we've had a couple on Thursday, I think it was, when the acceptance has come out. We had a couple of calls, yeah. Yeah, no, it's good.
So now you've got to plan your trip to Sydney and somehow work out how the trip's going to take place and how you're going to break it up.
Yeah, no, I think I'll have to get on to Matty Dunn and see what the go is.
He knows how to do it.
Yeah, no, that's right.
A bit further from Burke to Sydney than Murwillumbah to Sydney.
Yeah, no, that's right, 1,030 km.